Hello students, I am Raju Jha. Here I am starting new series of basic electrical engineering. So here in this video, I take one of the most interesting and doubtful topic for first year student actually. The topic name is induction type single phase energy meter. Okay, so I try to explain this topic in more easy way. So I hope you will like this video. Let's continue. So this is our topic induction type single phase energy meter. Okay, first of all, we want to know what is energy. Energy is power consumed over period of time. Okay, so whatever power consumed or power deliver over a period of time is called the energy actually. And when we measure this energy, so that is called the energy meter. Okay, right now we in present day in our home appliances we see digital energy meter actually but from last to 10 to 20 years before uh, generally we see the induction type single phase energy meter. Okay, so here because it is a important topic for gate purpose for IES and for university exam also it is a important topic. So here we study how the induction type single phase energy meter work and what is its component actually. Okay, so let's start. So here we discuss actually. So that this is the construction part. Okay, so here you see there is a series magnet. So this one is called the series magnet. This C type structure is called the series magnet actually. Second, the most important construction features of this uh, energy meter, that is a shunt magnet. So this E type structure you see is called the shunt magnet here. Okay, so third one is the brake magnet. This C type structure is called the brake magnet. And fourth one is the rotating disc. This one is the rotating disc. Instead of this, instead of this, there is a, you can say, integrating meter also. This is called the integrating meter. So each value will be integrating actually here. And if you take the example, just you can say if you consume whatever power you consume actually, let's assume you consume 2000 kilowatt. Okay, or you consume 1000. For simplicity we take 1000 kilowatt. If you consume 1000 kilowatt in a hour. Okay, in a hour if you consume 1000 kilowatt, that means it gives you or is shifted from 1 to 2. Okay, it shows that you consume 1 kilowatt here. And if you again consume 1 kilowatt hour, then it shifted again 2 to 3. So in each time it integrate, or you can say that it add up that power consumption. Okay, so that's why it is called the integrating meter. It is important actually. So one by one we will discuss all this part actually. See what is series magnet and what is the important of series magnet, what is series coil, what is shunt magnet, what is important of shunt magnet, and what is shunt coil, what is brake magnet and what is the important of brake magnet in this section actually, and what is rotating disc. Okay, so these type of construction features we will discuss in my earlier slide. Okay, so start with this series magnet. So here we see first point, number of turns in the coil are less. Okay, what do you mean by number of turns in the coil are less? That means this is called the series actually. Here you see the number of turns is less actually. Okay, so this is because of the torque we want. Okay, we want less torque. So I will give you explanation of this when we will see the working of this energy meter actually. Okay, So the second one is thickness of the coil is more. Okay, that mean area is more. That mean cross section area is more here. So the cross section area is more. That mean R equal to rho L divided by A. So the area is more. That means resistance is less. Okay. So resistance is less means there are, because you see this series coil is directly connected to load. So if you connect the heavy load, in that case heavy current will flow from this. Okay, so we want that current should be pass easily. So the if resistance is low, that in that case the current is pass easily through that coil. So that's why we put here the thick actually thick wire. Through this the resistance will getting low or keep low. Okay, for resistance keep low and current will pass easily. Because of this, we here the thickness of the coil is more. Okay, then third point is it is connected in series with source. So this is the source actually. So let's see, the current is passing through the load and then it comes to this coil and then is come to this coil. And so here you see this is in series actually. So it is connected in series with the with source. Last one is this is also called the current coil. Okay, so these type of you can say the important construction detail for the series magnet we are discussing here. Okay, then second one is shunt magnet. Okay, the shunt magnet, it is connected in parallel with the source. So this is the source and in parallel actually this is connected, because here you see in parallel this is connected, because because this is the another, you can say another line is going to towards the load. So it is parallel actually. Okay, so you can say large number of then second point is large number of turns in this coil. Okay, again we will tell you why it is large number of turns is using in shunt coil, while less number of turns is using in series coil. We will discuss this when we will discuss on working principle of this energy meter. Okay, so so keep this you can say concept, and we will discuss in earlier slides. So the next one is thickness of coil is less. So here the thickness of coil is less because there is a reason actually. Here you see the current is flowing. Okay, and this current is varying according to the load actually. So this current is varying current, this current is varying actually. And here you see this current is constant. Okay, because here the constant current is flowing. So when you see here is the constant current, because there is only the use of the current is only to magnetize this shunt coil. Okay, there is no any other use here actually. So the main working or main use for actually this is the current that is main use actually here. The use is to supply the load. Okay, but this current is only used to magnetize this shunt coil. So this current is almost constant. So that's why here we don't need any large current here. So that's why we the area or thickness is less, that means area is less, cross section area is less, so the resistance is high. Because of this, if we put the resistance high, so the limited or constant current is only flowing here, or the constant current is flowing here only. Okay, so that's why we put here the high resistance. Then it is also called the pressure coil. Okay, so the next one is brake magnet. So this is seat shape of alloys of steel with air gap is called the brake magnet here. Usually brake magnet should be permanent magnet actually. When load is not connected, in that case it will break rotation of disc. Okay, so rotate it break the rotation of this by developing of controlling torque. Okay, so it stop the disc rotation. So through this you can say in short, braking magnet develop the developing torque, So through this developing torque is opposes the shunt coil torque when load is not connected. Okay, when load is not connected, you know already series there is no current is flowing in the series coil, so there is no flux with this series coil, so the torque is not developed due to series coil. Okay, but only torque is developed due to shunt coil, so that's why the braking magnet control this shunt coil torque. Okay, so the next one is, so the next and final one is a rotating disc. So rotating disc is aluminum disc mounted on vertical spindle. This is called the vertical spindle. Okay, support on a spiral cup contain in bottom screw. This is called the in bottom screw actually. In bottom screw this is connected. One rotation of disc give one count of counter. Okay, when one rotation, one when this disc move one rotation actually, when it gives one rotation, full rotation, then this spindles completed one linear clock or count actually 1 to 2, then it gives it goes towards the 2 actually, or it is on the 2, though that mean one rotation, one rotation equal to 1 unit, you can say. Okay, one rotation equal to 1 unit. So the next one is, so this is the working of induction type single phase energy meter. So let's start the working actually. So we give the current divide here, one current is goes to the load and load is connected, then load is on. Second is going towards the shunt coil. Okay, then it comes to the series coil from the load actually, then this one is the final one. Okay, here you see, because of the current is flowing in this coil, that's why a magnet is created actually. This magnet is called the flux, shunt flux. So here you see, due to Faraday law, we can say in the disk there is a EMF generated. Okay, due to this EMF, the eddy current is flowing through this disk. Okay, here you see the eddy current. The eddy current flowing through this disk. The name of the eddy current we have given ISH or shunt current. Okay, then we talk about this series coil. Okay, in series coil, when the current is flowing in the series coil, there is a series flux is generated here. Okay, and due to series flux and shunt current. Okay, remember, due to series flux and shunt current, there is a force developed. We know Biot-Savart law very well. So when current carrying conductor placed in any magnetic field, so there is a force, you can say, exerted over that surface, which is equal to F equal to B I L sine theta. Okay, so through this way we know Biot-Savart law well. So if we have a force, then the torque is already, we know the torque is developed here, tau equal to F into T. This is the distance. So here we get the torque. So this torque is torque 1. Okay, then what happened? The same thing, same phenomena happen. Okay, here you see the due to this flux, shunt flux, there is a eddy current flowing through this, through flowing on the disk actually. So the same phenomena happened when shunt field, due to shunt flux, there is also a eddy current flowing through this. This one is the eddy current actually. This is due to the shunt flux. This eddy current name ISC, or you can say the series current. Okay, because of due to series coil, this eddy current is flowing, so this is ISC. So this, because of this ISC and this phi SS, the same phenomena happened. Biot-Savart law, same Biot-Savart law implemented here, and we will get again a new force. Okay, F equal to BIL sine theta, and through this force we will get again a new torque develop here. You see, okay, so here you see again a torque develop, here you see the torque develop. So these torque forces this disc to rotate actually, okay, rotate in a clockwise direction. Both wants to try, both try actually to rotate this disc at clockwise direction actually. So disc rotate in the direction of load torque. So there are two methods, because load is connected in series coil. Okay, so load is connected in series coil, and we know here the load, due to load, so this rotate in the direction of load torque. So there are two methods we increase these torque. First is increase load current. So we know, actually we know load torque or this torque actually depends on, first is load current. So load current, that means whatever the load current is flowing through this in the series coil. So if we increase the load current, then we increase the torque. Okay, so first is to increase the load current, second is the flux, that phi sh. Torque is depend on these two fundamentals parameter, load current and shunt flux. So if we increase, either we increase the load current or we increase the shunt flux, we increase the load torque. Why we increase this torque actually, this torque? Okay, why we want to increase this torque? Because this torque is depend on the load current. So whatever we if we increase the load, okay, so load current is increases. So here we measure the, through energy meter we measure how much consumption we do. Okay, that's why we want energy, we want current here. Okay, so we want current here, that's why this torque, it is important, because this torque is directly proportional to the current actually. So this torque is directly proportional to load current, torque 2, and this torque is directly proportional to phi sh, shunt field current, shunt field flux. Okay, so this shunt flux, actually shunt flux, so either we increase the load current or we increase the shunt flux. Okay, so that's why when we say the shunt, the number of coil, we actually in my in this video initially we talk about the number of coil, or you can say number of turns in shunt coil is greater than number of turns in series coil. Okay, that is the reason actually, because we want phi sh more, because we want this torque more. So if we increase this torque, that means we give the disc rotate in the direction of load torque. So if we increase this torque, the direction of load torque, we will give this disc in the direction of load torque actually, and the spindle is moving right side, otherwise spindle is moving left side. If it is not, if this torque is not you can say not larger than this torque, in that case, or you can say if we increase the turns here, okay, if we increase the turns here, in that case this torque is large one, so it try to oppose that rotation actually. Okay, or maybe some other difficulties occurred, so the spindle is not moving in the right direction, or the load, it did not follow the load torque actually, whatever the load is not actually measured here. That is the fundamental thing. If this torque is more, then whatever the load is coming is not actually measured. Okay, then what we measured, we measured the shunt coil, or in that case we measure the series coil flux, or we measure some other of the fundamental things, but we are not measure the load actually. So here you can say, so discs rotate in the direction of load torque. So there are two methods we increase this torque. First is increase load current, second increase the shunt flux actually. So due to this, large number of turns must be tied on shunt coil, and also it is thin. So the last one is we talk about the braking magnet. So through braking magnet we will get a controlling torque. Okay, whenever the disc rotate in between the magnetic field, whenever the disc rotate in between of this magnetic field, so eddy current produce, and then we can say because of this eddy current and braking magnetic flux, a torque is produced. Okay, this torque opposes its own reason. So reason is rotating of disc, so it opposes disc rotation. Okay, and disc will get stop when load is disconnected. Then this braking magnet work and stop the disc actually. Through this way you can also understand actually. Otherwise meter continue, if it is if this braking magnet is not available or is not you can say is if braking magnet is not available, or if braking magnet is not work well, in that case meter continuous take reading after load is disconnected. After load disconnected, it continuous working because disk is continuous rotating actually. So this is all the working, you can say the working actually. And here you see the spindle which is connected with this disk actually rotate. When one disk is completed its rotation, then this is going to be changed. Here you see from 1 it is 2, so that means 1 unit is consumed here. Okay, 1 unit is consumed here after one rotation. Okay, one rotation, 1 unit is consumed, equal to 1 unit. Okay, the next one is what will happen when load is disconnected. Okay, so here you say here it say what will happen when load is disconnected. So due to actually why the disk is rotated, so we use the braking magnet. So here we explain actually, due to inertia of rotation, rotating disk, it will not stop immediately. By helping of braking magnet, it will stop the rotation of disk. So we know how the we discussed already actually, but again we told you whenever the disk is rotating in between the magnetic flux, so eddy current produces. Then we can say because of this eddy current and braking magnetic flux, there is a torque is produced. This torque opposes its own reason. So reason is rotating of disk. So it opposes disk rotation and disk will get stopped. So through this way it disk will get or disk get stop actually. So here we see there is a 4 step of working. First is driving mechanism. So what is driving mechanism? Shunt coil is the driving mechanism, or series coil is the driving mechanism. Okay, these are the driving mechanism through which the you can say the disk is through which way the disk is moving actually. Moving system is the disk. Okay, then third one is the braking system is the, here's the braking magnet, and integrating system is the, here is the you can call it integrating system, integrating meter. Okay, so through this way we complete this working actually. So at the last, what is our you can say conclusion? So our conclusion is developed torque, whatever the developed torque is directly proportional to power, and it is developed torque is directly proportional to n number of revolution. So if the number of revolution is high, then developed torque should be high. As I told you, in that case more you can say more load current is flowing through the series coil. Okay, developed torque is high when the number of revolution is high. okay, or the power is high, or you can say that if you consume more power, then more developed torque is developed, and you can say more developed torque is developed, that means more number of revolution occurred. So that's why if you consume more power, then yeah, the meter shows more unit of consumption actually. Okay, so now next one is, so it is a important error and compensation. Here we will discuss here actually what is the error comes in this energy meter actually. So first error is phase error. Phase error actually, normally the flux due to shunt magnet does not lag behind the you can say supply voltage by exactly 90 degree, due to the fact that the coil has some resistance. Okay, you know, in shunt coil there is a large resistance, there is a large resistance actually. Resistance is high because area is, or you can say thickness of the coil or wire is small. So due to this, R equal to rho L by A. Okay, we have discussed earlier. So due to this, the resistance is high. So we can say if the terminal voltage, or you can say, sorry, if the source voltage, okay, we have a source voltage and this one is the current, okay, load current, or you say. So when the source current lagging here with this zero power factor, if we take the zero power factor, in that case it is exactly 90 degrees. So the flux is here actually with this current. So we know there is a two component of the current. Okay, one is the working current, second is the magnetizing current. Okay, but here we see only magnetizing flux is generated. So that's why we can say in zero power factor condition there is a zero torque. Okay, zero torque develop. But here you see because of the resistance, the voltage and current, there is a difference actually. This is the current. So due to resistance, the current is not 90 degree actually, 90 degree lag with the source voltage. So that's why if we take the component of this one, so here is the component of you can say magnetizing component, here is the component of working component. Okay, working component actually. So in working component, or here's the magnetizing component, so the flux is also divided in these two way. There is a magnetizing component and there is a working component. So that's why here we have a two component, working component and magnetizing component. So we can say the torque is not here, here the torque is not zero. Okay, this is all the phase error actually. Normally in the simple language, we I will tell you, normally the flux due to the shunt magnet does not lag behind the supply voltage by exactly 90 degree, due to the fact that coil has some resistance. Consequently, torque is not zero at zero power factor. Okay, this is known as phase error. Very simple as way. So how we can compensate it actually? So compensated by mean of adjustable copper band placed over shunt magnet. Here, over shunt magnet. Okay, this is called the, here is, this one is called the copper band. Okay, through this copper band we eliminate or we compensate the phase error. Okay, so then second one is speed error. Actually, speed error is due to the non-inductive load. When error in the speed of the motor when tested on the non-inductive load can be eliminated by correctly adjusting the position of brake magnet. We see the brake magnet earlier. Moving of the poles of the braking magnet towards the center of the disc reduces the braking torque. Okay, so here we reduce the braking torque over there. Okay, so this one it is compensated by adjusting the you can say position of the brake magnet here. Okay, this one is the compensation method. If we change the position, we compensate this speed error actually. Then third one is friction error. Okay, so what is friction error actually? So friction error, you can say friction forces or at the rotor bearing in the you see the there is a actually integrating. meter actually. Okay, you see the integrating meter. So friction forces as the rotor bearing and integrating mechanism give rise to an you can say unwanted braking torque on the disc rotor, whatever the rotor so unwanted braking torque due to this you can say spindle, through spindle when they're connected this, and rotor resistor mechanism. Okay, because it follow this path, okay, linear path. So due to this there is a friction actually, and second friction is due to the you can say rotor bearing. Okay, here is some bearing, so rotor bearing there is a friction here. So due to this the error is occurred. It is compensated by shading pole. Okay, so the third one is sorry, fourth one, creeping. That is the important one. Actually, what is creeping? If you want to know, so creeping when load is not connected. Okay, then a small amount of torque give rotation of the disc, continuous giving the rotation of the give of the disc actually. So that is called the creeping. Okay, so to overcome the creeping on no load, two holes are drilled in the disc on the diameter actually. This causes sufficient distortions of the field to prevent rotation when one of the holes you can say come under the uh, here you saw actually come under the one of the poles of shunt magnet. Okay, here you see here. So we put the holes actually where we will get like this. Okay, so through this way the compensation is occurred. Okay, so again we repeat it actually. To overcome this creeping on no load, two holes are drilled in the disc on the diameter. Okay, this causes actually sufficient distortions of the field to prevent rotation with when one of the holes come under one of the poles of shunt magnet. Okay, so through this way we can you can say compensate. So that's it of this video. I hope you like this video. If you have any queries or questions, mail me on this email id. I will definitely provide you a good solution. At the last, thank you for watching my video. If you have any queries or if you have any suggestions, write it on the comment box also.